contract, meaning something that people opted into in joining their forces together and saying, we acknowledge that such violence will be applied towards us by the state as an entity or by the rest of society. However, that social contract is a construct. It's a bogus. It's not something that actually exists. None of us are scientists. We're saying that when this happens, we're saying it's fiction because most people don't have a realistic option, or many people in society don't have a realistic option to leave the state to which they were born and to leave the society to which we're born. We're saying the state is an obligation, therefore, to allow people to do it, the utmost in its capacity, to allow people to opt out, because otherwise, every act it makes in terms of taxation, in terms of laws, is simply illegitimate violence applied towards its own citizens. We're saying that we don't have to show that we're going to make all the problems with immigration go away. We're saying we have to do the utmost we can in order to allow people, to do that, in order to justify the basic concept by which a state applies. What we're getting here is, first of all, more liberty to the people who are living the country, who honestly feel that the country doesn't represent them, that they don't feel that they opt in to the social norms of that state. Note this also happens in democracy, because obviously there are minorities, and there are very small minorities that won't actually be represented, but we're also giving much more liberty to the entire society and justifying the acts that the state does towards all its citizens by the very fact that the opt-out mechanism exists.
If this is true, why are you specifying that they have to permanently leave that state?
Basically, when you emigrate to a state, that is when you're opt-out mechanism. Obviously, by this mechanism, note, we're saying states should do this, therefore a state should also allow you, if you settle in a country and want to resettle in another, that state should also allow you to do the same. Let's talk about maximizing cultural values, because we believe that the main people who are likely to leave their country are people who honestly feel that the country, that they lost their country, that the country is not attached to them and to the ideals that they uphold. We're saying that there is a certain necessity in states shaping and representing certain societal values, and we're saying that that is a good thing, because it allows people to self-identify and to have their identity being broadcast. However, there is also a problem with that, because some people will obviously be disenfranchised by this. But this doesn't have to be the case, right? Because when we allow a more free market of nations to choose from, we allow more people to opt into a system that's better for them. Now, we're saying that when you look first of all at countries that are more left-wing or more right-wing, things like people feeling like the United States has betrayed them to employ Obamacare. Yes, maybe these people will feel better in Luxembourg. Maybe in a very liberal state that can allow them those specific rights. Maybe people who feel disenfranchised by a burqa ban in France, which represents what a lot of the society sees as their cultural identity, will feel better in the UK, where there isn't a burqa ban. And we're saying this allows more of those individuals to get more of their cultural rights and more of their values represented. But moreover, it also improves the situation of those cultural minorities or political minorities that don't leave the country, because they are now not represented and depicted by the most extreme version of their own cultural identification. What do we mean by that? We're saying it's very easy, for example, to dismiss Muslims by portraying them all as people who are extremely religious or very extreme in their views. When you allow these people to opt out, or when you allow the crazy gun-wielding Texans to not be within not be part of the United States anymore, then there is much more of a likelihood that you see that what the media will depict and what cultural discourse will depict are the people who are more moderate, and therefore you get more social acceptance for groups that differ from your own fodder. But this leads me to the third point about social cohesion. We're saying that there is a problem today of people moving to the fringes, of people being in the same country, but feeling like that other groups within that state are not actually, or have nothing to do with them, feeling no empathy towards them, feeling no will to help them, and we see politics becoming more and more extreme. We're saying when people reaffirm constantly the fact that they want to remain in that state, and both sides do this, there is, first of all, just the notion that both sides affirm that, but there is also the notion of cognitive dissonance, in which I'm saying I have to justify to myself why I'm not leaving my country if it's so bad. I have to justify to myself that there are many good things about my country and about the way the place where the country is going to, that I can improve upon, and therefore leads me to more patriotism and to more cohesiveness between social groups. Extremely proud to propose the motion.